Welcome back, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Unexplained and Unsolved podcast. This episode will solely be about the Tombstone Thunderbird story, mainly because it was the most compelling story and I really couldn't find any other good stories. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe, it really helps out the channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So, on April 26, 1890, the Tombstone Epitaph released a story about Tombstone gunslingers shooting a Thunderbird right out of the sky. And apparently there was a picture posted along with the initial article that shows a group of cowboys holding the Thunderbird against like the side of a barn and holding out its wings to show the whopping 18-foot wingspan. The actual picture was never found or ever resurfaced, so anything you see nowadays might be a photoshopped image. I'll show the one that I found right now in the video. So as you can see, this picture looks like it's really photoshopped. It doesn't look real at all. And that's kind of like where the story loses its credibility, is because, I mean, anybody can tell a story, but if there's no pictures, then it's hard to believe it. That is, if you were a skeptic, but if you're someone like me, you might want to believe it. Luckily, there's a guy over in the town of Tombstone with the name Joshua Hawley that works at the infamous OK Corral that's located inside Tombstone, Arizona. Which, if you don't know about why it's infamous, I'll talk about it in a later series, because Tombstone is a point that I really want to touch on for sure, just because it has a lot of paranormal history and is a really legendary place in my opinion. But this Hawley guy, he is an author and a paranormal historian for the town of Tombstone. He states that this sighting is the most famous sighting of a Thunderbird only because it was inside of the town of Tombstone. So since the town of Tombstone and the Thunderbird are both legends, it makes the story really interesting. Now, the Library of Congress actually has the whole story, which I'll be reading, but it has no photo still. And Joshua also says that the town may have wrote the story because the hype of the town was starting to die down due to nobody mining anymore. However, there was also reports of a cowboy in the 40s or 30s that said that he was one of the people to shoot at the creature along with other ranchers. He says that they never actually killed the creature like the article says they did, but they tried chasing it and it got away because it spooked the horses. Pretty much right there, it kind of gives the story not as much credibility, but at least there's somebody that actually like admitted that they were there and kind of shed some light on the story that was published, because I just feel like if there's somebody that will be upfront about like what actually happened, that kind of gives the story more credibility instead of like fully going along with the narrative that they actually killed the creature itself, which also makes sense that they don't have a picture, because how would they have a picture of it if it got away, you know? But what this old cowboy said is that the creature that they did shoot at and started chasing was really big and something that they've never seen before. But as far as I know, he never said if the creature was actually like a pterodactyl, I guess, type of looking creature, like, because I guess that's what the creature looks like in the actual picture that nobody's ever seen before. But let me just read you all the stories so that way you can let me know how you feel about it, because I'm not too sure. So the article is found on the desert, and it says a strange winged monster discovered and killed in the Hauchuaca Desert. So I'm sorry if I butchered that. But it says, a winged monster resembling a huge alligator with an extremely elongated tail and an immense pair of wings was found on the desert between the Whetstone and Hauchuaca Mountains last Sunday by two ranchers who were returning home from the Hauchuacas. Sorry if I butchered that. The creature was evidently greatly exhausted by a long flight, and when discovered was able to fly but a short distance at a time. After the first shock of the wild amazement had passed, the two men, who were on horseback and armed with Winchester rifles, regained sufficient courage to pursue the monster, and after an exciting chase of several miles succeeded in getting near enough to open fire with their rifles and wounding it. The creature then turned on to the men, but owing to its exhausted condition, they were able to keep out of its way, and after a few well-directed shots, the monster partly rolled over and remained motionless. The men cautiously approached their horses, snorting with terror, and found that the creature was dead. They then proceeded to make an examination and found that it measured about 92 feet in length, and the greatest diameter was about 50 inches. The monster had only 2 feet, these being situated in a short distance in front of where the wings were joined to the body. The head, as near as they could judge, was about 8 feet long, the jaws being thickly set with strong, sharp teeth. Its eyes were large as a dinner plate and protruded about halfway from the head. They had some difficulty in measuring the wings as they were partly folded under the body, but finally got one straightened out sufficiently to get a measurement of 78 feet. Dang. Making the total length from tip to tip about 160 feet. The wings were composed of a thick and nearly transparent membrane and were devoid of feathers or hair, as was the entire body. The skin of the body was comparatively smooth and easily penetrated by a bullet. The men cut off a small portion of the top of the wing and took it home with them. Late last night, one of them arrived in the city for supplies and to make the necessary preparation to skin the creature, when the hide will be sent for examination by the eminent scientist of the day. The finder returned early this morning, accompanied by several prominent men who will endeavor to bring the strange creature to the city before it's mutilated. Tombstone Epitaph, April 26, 1890. So that's a pretty wild story, and obviously there is a little bit of difference between this story and what it was a video that I watched. I'll link it in the bio, but what the video said and like what the guy who was the researcher of Tombstone said. But I mean, it's bound to happen. Like, stories can always change throughout time and everything. So down in the comments, let me know what you guys think about this story and if you believe it or don't believe it. Like I said, I'm a little iffy about the whole thing because I don't know, it doesn't really match up all that well. But it's a really cool thing to try to believe into. And so that will probably be the end of this video. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing another episode for this series, just because there's not really like a whole lot to go on, like as opposed to like the Skinwalker series. So hopefully we'll be starting this, our next series this week. It's a little harder with trying to schedule episodes and everything, just because me and Dakota are both in school. So we have like different time schedules, so they kind of don't always match up that well, along with like work and everything else in life. But we still try to strive to get as much content out as possible. So please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you aren't subscribed. Also leave a comment down below. It really helps the channel grow and really gets us out into the algorithm. Before we do our next series though, I most likely will be coming out with a video reviewing another trailer, just because I really enjoy doing that. I'm not sure exactly which one yet, but I'll let you guys know soon. Make sure to check out our TikTok and our Instagram page, because we post updates there all the time, and that's just the easiest place for us to be reached at. So if you ever have like a story or anything that you want to be featured on the upcoming episode or anything, so just hit us up on there. We really do enjoy talking to you guys. It just really gives like a sense of like community and everything, which is like something that me and Dakota both like really are looking forward to, and it seems like we're growing every single day. So be sure to shout us out if you can on like your social media or anything, or let your friends and family know about the channel, because the bigger the family, the better, in my opinion. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next video.